There is a law older than the mountains and deeper than the oceans, a law that governs the rise and fall of men, the triumph of dreams, the forging of destinies. It is the law that success bows to, the law that failure fears. It is the unbreakable truth that success belongs to those who refuse to quit, not those who start with a spark and fizzle out at the first gust of doubt, not those who chase fortune until the road gets steep and the nights grow cold. Success, the real, lasting, soul-igniting kind, reserves itself only for the relentless, for those whose spirit stands unshaken when the winds of hardship howl, when the storms of fear rage, when the very earth beneath them crumbles into uncertainty. It does not matter how gifted you are. It does not matter how privileged your start, how loud your applause, how dazzling your opportunities. It matters how much of yourself you are willing to pour out when the world stops cheering, when the doors slam shut, when no one is watching. Edison did not invent the light bulb because he was the smartest man of his era. He invented it because he burned with a patience that refused to accept defeat after 10,000 failures. Carnegie did not build an empire of steel because the path was clear. He carved it bleeding and sweating through walls that others deemed impassable. Lincoln did not save a nation because he was born great. He molded his greatness in the crucible of heartbreak, loss, and unimaginable pressure. They all understood one sacred truth: the mountain yields only to those who climb long after their legs scream for mercy, and so must you. You must meet your dreams with a loyalty fiercer than doubt. You must marry your goals with a perseverance that mocks fear itself. You must decide once and for all that you will not stop, because every great victory, every crown, every banner planted on the summit of destiny belongs to the one who refused to turn back when it would have been so easy, so logical, so comfortable to quit. The world will give you 1,000 excuses to stop. It will whisper to you that you're too late, too young, too old, too broken, too behind. It will parade your failures in front of you like a hall of shame, daring you to give up. But the rarest souls, the ones we remember, the ones who change history, learn to silence the world with their actions. They make the decision deep within their marrow that they will not surrender their future to the fleeting weakness of the present. They do not seek permission. They do not wait for signs. They do not beg the world for validation. They become their own revolution, and it begins first in the mind. Because before you can hold success in your hands, you must first claim it in your thoughts. You must forge a mind that is immune to despair, a mind that does not accept the finality of failure, a mind that looks at obstacles not as stop signs, but as invitations to ascend. Your mindset is your kingdom, your thoughts are your architects, and the grand towers of success are only built when the mind refuses to lay bricks of doubt, fear, or resignation. Clarity becomes your first weapon. You cannot conquer what you do not clearly see. A vague dream is a powerless dream. Like a ship lost at sea without a map, a mind without clarity drifts endlessly at the mercy of every wind, every tide, every storm. You must know what you want, not just in passing but in vivid, burning detail. You must see it when you close your eyes, feel it beating in your chest, taste it in the hunger that wakes you up at 4 a.m. when the rest of the world sleeps. Walt Disney stood before a swamp in Florida, a place no sane man would dream of building an empire, and he saw not mud and mosquitoes but magic. He saw castles and dreams and a world that had yet to exist because he had clarity. And clarity fuels vision. Vision is what keeps the soul alive when the body tires. Vision is what ignites your footsteps when the path disappears. Vision is what turns suffering into sacrifice, pain into purpose, struggle into story. Without vision, life becomes mechanical, a series of tasks, routines, survival. But with vision, every moment, every action, even every setback becomes a thread in the tapestry of something larger than life itself. Purpose fuses with vision and breathes fire into your spirit. You are not here merely to survive. You are not here just to exist. You are here to create, to build, to expand, to leave the world richer for your having passed through it. Purpose is what transforms labor into legacy. It's what makes early mornings and late nights sacred, not burdensome. It's what pulls you out of bed with fire in your veins when others hit the snooze button on their potential. When Henry Ford envisioned a world where every common man could own an automobile, people laughed, they mocked, they said it was impossible, that cars were for the elite, the rich, the privileged, but Ford didn't build an empire on the opinions of the small-minded. He built it on discipline, the bridge between vision and reality. Without discipline, dreams rot into regret. Without discipline, potential withers under the weight of comfort. Without discipline, every grand ambition you dare to harbor dies a slow, silent death inside of you. Discipline is the quiet, daily commitment to act even when you do not feel like it, especially when you do not feel like it. It is the voice that says, I will show up, I will do the work, I will build the life I have seen in my soul. Not once, not twice, but relentlessly, habitually, until the world has no choice but to yield to the weight of your persistence. But action is where discipline meets destiny. Action is where the internal becomes external, where the unseen becomes the undeniable, where the silent hope becomes the roaring reality. You can think, you can plan, you can dream, but until you act, you are a spectator at the game of life. Every hero you admire was once a beginner. Every legend you study was once laughed at. Every monument you see was once nothing more than a trembling first step taken by someone who dared to move despite the fear. You must move. You must build. You must do. And when you do, gratitude must be the foundation upon which you stand. Not because the road will be easy, it won't. Not because success will come quickly. It likely won't, but because gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you possess. It turns obstacles into opportunities, failures into lessons, trials into testimonies. Gratitude is not passive. It is an active force, a lens that sees the good even in the grind, the blessing even in the battle. Thomas Edison once said, I am not discouraged, because every wrong attempt discarded is another step forward. Gratitude keeps you moving forward when others get stuck in bitterness. Gratitude keeps your heart open when others build walls. Gratitude turns every day, yes, even the hard days, into a brick you can lay on the road to your greatness. But greatness demands one more thing: adaptability. Because life will not bow to your plans. It will twist, it will turn, it will test the flexibility of your spirit. Adaptability is not surrender. It is evolution. It is strength under new conditions. It is the refusal to break when life bends the rules without warning. The oak tree that will not bend shatters in the storm. The reed that bends survives, thrives, and rises again. Adaptability is the wisdom to know when to persist and when to pivot, when to stand firm and when to shift your strategy without losing sight of your vision. It was adaptability that allowed Abraham Lincoln to rise from loss after loss, from failed businesses, failed elections, personal heartbreak, and still ascend to the highest office of the land at a time when the nation itself was fractured at the soul. His vision was fixed, but his methods evolved. His purpose was unwavering, but his strategies were flexible. You must do the same, because life will test you, and those who cling rigidly to a single path without the humility to adapt will be swept aside by the currents of reality. Success is not about walking a straight line. It is about relentlessly moving forward, even if the road demands that you carve new paths through the wilderness. And with adaptability, you must summon resilience, the iron in the blood of all great achievers. Resilience is the capacity to endure storms without letting them shatter your spirit. It is the muscle you build every time life knocks you to your knees and you rise a little taller than before. Resilience is not given. It is earned, forged in the fires of adversity, tempered by the hammer blows of disappointment. Think of the great explorers, the ones who dared to sail into unknown oceans when maps were unfinished and monsters were rumored to lurk at the edges of the world. They did not achieve greatness because they faced no fear, no hardship, no danger. They achieved greatness because they refused to let fear, hardship, and danger define them. In your own life, you will face oceans of doubt. You will encounter storms of failure, monsters of insecurity, shipwrecks of unexpected defeat. But if you refuse to quit, if you press onward with resilience burning like a lighthouse within you, you will reach shores that others never even glimpse. And along the way, you must become a relentless student of life. Learning is not something you finish when you leave school. Learning is the oxygen of greatness. Those who stop learning the moment they taste success are already writing the first chapter of their downfall. You must learn from your failures, from your successes, from your mentors, from your enemies. You must devour knowledge, adapt it, apply it, and evolve it. Andrew Carnegie once said, "The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled." Learning gives you possession of your mind. It sharpens your instincts, refines your strategies, strengthens your resolve. And above all, you must learn the most sacred of lessons, that success is not an event. It is a state of being. It is not a trophy you win once and place on a shelf to gather dust. It is a way of living, a way of thinking, a way of walking through the world with relentless intent and fiery gratitude. Success is breathing purpose into every morning. It is choosing discipline over comfort every afternoon. It is reflecting with gratitude every night. Success belongs to those who decide every day to become a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more courageous than they were yesterday. It belongs to those who embrace the grind when the excitement fades, who keep hammering at the stone when no cracks show, who keep planting seeds even when the harvest seems a lifetime away. It belongs to those who look at the yawning distance between where they are and where they want to be, and instead of despairing, they smile, tighten their laces, and start walking. Because every great dream, the dream that whispers to you when the world is silent, the dream that refuses to die inside you, it is already yours, if you refuse to quit. You were born with the raw material of greatness. It is not fate that will determine whether you succeed. It is not luck. It is not timing, connections, privilege, or circumstance. It is you. It is your will to persist, your will to rise, your will to keep going when the night grows darkest and your soul feels hollowed by exhaustion. The dream you hold is not random. It was planted in you for a reason. It was given to you because you are meant to give it life. You are the one chosen to carry it, to birth it into the world, to shape reality itself by the force of your resolve. There will be days when you doubt. There will be moments when quitting seems easier, smarter, safer. But remember this, the moment you are closest to breaking is often the moment you are closest to breakthrough. The moment when the pain peaks, when the walls close in, when the world feels heaviest upon your shoulders, that is the final test. That is the proving ground. That is where the average fall and the legends rise. Do not fall. Rise. Rise. Because you are not defined by how many times you fall. You are defined by how many times you get back up, fiercer and wiser than before. Rise. Because the story of your life is being written right now, in the silence, in the struggle, in the unseen battles you are fighting when no one else believes, when no one else sees. Rise. Because success is not given, it is claimed, it is seized, it is demanded from the universe by those who refuse to take no for an answer. Stand firm when the winds howl, push harder when the path vanishes, burn brighter when the darkness grows, and when you feel like you cannot take one more step, take one more step anyway. Because every step you take beyond your breaking point is a step fewer people are willing to make. Every step beyond the pain is a step closer to the summit that most will never reach. And when you reach it, when you stand atop the mountain, looking out over the vast, rugged landscape of everything you have conquered, you will understand something rare, something precious. You were never fighting for the trophy. You were never fighting for the applause. You were never fighting for the world's approval. You were fighting for yourself, for the person you knew you could become, for the life you knew you could live, for the destiny you refused to abandon. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit. It always has. It always will. Because in the end, it is not the trophies, the titles, or the treasures that will define you. It is the fire you kept alive when the night tried to smother it. It is the steps you took when your legs were trembling. It is the prayers you whispered when your voice was too broken to shout. It is the storms you outlasted, the mountains you outclimbed, the battles you outblowed. The real victory is invisible. It is the soul you forged in the fires of struggle. It is the quiet strength behind your eyes. It is the unbreakable will etched into your bones. Look back through history, the statues, the monuments, the immortal names written into time. They all belong to those who refused to quit when quitting made sense, when surrender was the reasonable path, when every voice around them screamed, "Stop," and they answered back, not with words, but with action, with sacrifice, with one more unbreakable day. Every empire that rose was built on the ashes of 1,000 failures. Every masterpiece that lives was born from countless discarded sketches. Every dream that breathes into the world today was kept alive through nights of doubt, fear, and isolation that would have broken lesser spirits. But you are not a lesser spirit. You are the storm. You are the revolution. You are the force that history has been waiting for. And the world will not remember you for how easy your journey was. It will remember you for how relentlessly you moved forward, even when there was no guarantee, even when the reward seemed distant, even when it hurt. The champions are not separated by luck. They are separated by refusal. They refuse to be average. They refuse to yield to fear. They refuse to quit. And now it is your time. It is your time to rise from the ashes of every excuse you have ever told yourself. It is your time to tear down the walls of doubt that have caged your spirit. It is your time to let go of the need for permission, for validation, for guarantees. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more hoping the stars align. No more postponing your greatness for another day. Today is the day you draw the line in the sand and declare to the universe, I will not quit. I will not bow. I will not break. Today is the day you awaken the giant that has been sleeping inside you, the giant that was born to dream bigger, work harder, rise higher. It does not matter how many times you have failed. It does not matter how many times you have fallen. It does not matter how dark the road has been behind you. What matters is that you rise now. Rise like Lincoln rising from political ruin to save a nation. Rise like Edison, rising from failure after failure to light the world. Rise like Disney rising from bankruptcy and betrayal to build a kingdom of dreams. Rise like every soul who ever faced the abyss and chose not to jump but to build a bridge across it. Because in that rise, in that refusal to quit, you will find something greater than success. You will find yourself, the real you, the undefeated you, the immortal you, the you who is born to leave footprints on the stars, who is born to carve a mark so deep into this world that even time itself will whisper your name. Do not underestimate the power that burns inside you. Do not insult your destiny by shrinking back into the shadows. Stand tall, walk forward, break through, rise again and again and again until there is no force left in heaven or on earth that can deny you the life you were meant to live. The universe moves for those who refuse to quit. The doors of opportunity open for those who keep knocking after others have gone home. The mountains move for those who keep climbing after the summit disappears into mist. And your summit, it is waiting for you. Somewhere beyond the doubts, beyond the setbacks, beyond the sleepless nights and the lonely mornings, beyond the 1,000 battles yet to come, your summit waits. It does not care how bloody your hands are. It does not care how torn your heart feels. It only asks, will you keep climbing? Because if you will climb through the storms, the fear, the exhaustion, the heartbreak, then no power on this earth can stop you. The world will try to measure you by your wins and your losses, but it will never understand the wars you fought within. It will never see the nights you bled for a dream only you could see. It will never know the price you paid to keep standing when everything inside you begged for mercy, but you will know. And that knowing, that silent, sacred knowing, it will be enough. It will be everything. Because success is not found in a finish line. Success is found in the soul that refused to stop running even after the race grew endless. Success is found in the warrior who, battered and broken, still raises their sword to the heavens and roars, I am not done yet. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit. So light your fire, sharpen your will, forge your mind, and march forward into the storms of life with the defiant certainty that you will not be broken. Let the world doubt you. Let the obstacles rise against you. Let the nights grow long and the path grow cruel. You are not here to surrender. You are here to conquer. You are here to rise. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit, and you, relentless soul, are destined to be one of them. Because deep within your chest there is a furnace, an ancient fire that no storm can drown, no failure can extinguish, no enemy can steal. It is the fire of all those who came before you, the dreamers, the builders, the warriors who faced impossible odds and chose to fight anyway. It is the same fire that burned in the heart of every soul who dared to stare at an impossible future and whisper, "Watch me." That fire is your birthright. It is your inheritance. It is your unbreakable connection to greatness itself. And now the world needs you to unleash it. No more hiding your fire behind fear. No more dimming your light to make others comfortable. No more walking small through a life that was meant to be colossal. This is the hour when the timid shrink back into the shadows, but the courageous step into the light. This is the hour when the doubters, the critics, the cynics will fall silent, because the roar of your actions will drown out their whispers forever. This is the hour when you declare, not with words but with deeds, that you are unstoppable, that you are unstoppable. Because the truth is, you were never meant to live a life of quiet desperation. You were meant to set the sky on fire. You were meant to shake the mountains and carve your name into the face of time. You were meant to bleed, to fight, to rise, to conquer, to build, to endure, to inspire. You were meant to turn the impossible into the inevitable. You were meant to carry the torch through every valley of darkness until you stand atop the peaks of your destiny, your spirit blazing like a second sun. You were meant to be a testament, a living, breathing proof that refusal to quit is the single greatest force in this world. And every second you doubt that truth, you betray the power that sleeps inside you. Do not betray it. Do not betray the years of dreams that brought you here. Do not betray the sacrifices that carved the path beneath your feet. Do not betray the highest, fiercest version of yourself that is waiting just beyond this battle. You are so much closer than you think. One more hour of discipline, one more day of perseverance, one more battle fought with fire in your eyes and iron in your heart. The walls that seem so high are hollow. The chains that seem so heavy are illusions. The barriers that seem so permanent are cracks waiting to be shattered by the fist of your will. Push. Push beyond the fatigue. Push beyond the doubt. Push beyond the fear. Push beyond the world's expectations of who you should be. Because who you truly are is something the world is not ready for. Something vast. Something unstoppable. Something eternal. You are not here to live and die with your song unsung. You are not here to surrender your crown before the battle is even fought. You are here to burn so brightly that generations yet unborn will look back and say, "There walked someone who refused to be ordinary. There walked someone who refused to quit." Let your life be a testament. Let your scars be your trophies. Let your name become synonymous with resilience, with perseverance, with defiant, relentless, immortal will. The future is not owned by the hesitant. It is not given to the cautious. It is not gifted to those who quit when the path grows steep. The future belongs to the bold. The future belongs to the fearless. The future belongs to those who refuse to bow their heads when the world demanded their surrender. The future belongs to those who refuse to quit. And you are the future being born into flesh. You are the revolution carried forward by human hands. You are the living, breathing embodiment of unstoppable force. So take the next step, and the next, and the next. Push deeper into the storm, past the breaking point, past the pain, past the doubt. Because on the other side of all of it, beyond the hardship, beyond the sacrifice, beyond the endless nights, there is a life waiting for you that is so vast, so breathtaking, so magnificent, it will silence every doubt you have ever had. A life of purpose, a life of impact, a life of greatness. And it is closer than you think. It is waiting for you not at the beginning of the road, but at the end of your endurance. It is waiting for you beyond the 1,000 moments when you almost gave up but chose again and again to rise. It is waiting for you at the summit. And when you stand there, bloodied, exhausted, triumphant, you will realize something so profound it will bring you to your knees in gratitude. It was never about what you won. It was about who you became. You became the storm. You became the warrior. You became the unbreakable force that no hardship could crush, no failure could define, no obstacle could withstand. You became the living proof that success belongs to those who refuse to quit. And your legacy will not just be written in history books. It will be written in the hearts of every soul who hears your story and dares, because of you, to dream one more dream, to take one more step, to refuse to quit one more day. And so the fire spreads from you to 1,000 others, and from them to 10,000 more. until the whole world burns with the unstoppable power of those who refuse to bow. It begins now. It begins with you. It begins with the decision you make in this breath, in this heartbeat, in this sacred moment. I will not quit. Say it aloud. Say it with conviction. Say it until every cell in your body vibrates with certainty. I will not quit. Because success belongs to the relentless, to the resilient, to the dreamers who refuse to die with their dreams inside them. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit, and your destiny is to be among them. When the dust settles, when the battles fade, when the world grows quiet, it will not be the trophies they remember. It will not be the medals, the titles, the fleeting applause. It will be the fire, the refusal, the relentless soul that would not break. It will be you, the one who stayed standing, the one who kept believing, the one who, when faced with defeat, whispered, "Not today, not ever." You are not just chasing victory, you are becoming it. With every breath, every step, every refusal to quit, you are carving your name into eternity. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit, and you are the storm the world will never forget.